Yes, I am.
So how does this compare to, say, a social media kind of sharing opinions over the social media?
Well, when you see a Facebook comment with a Facebook post with 162 comments, you wonder where does your opinion stand and how many people can you engage. So in terms of social media, it is varied at times. Sometimes you get very strong opinions, sometimes your opinions just get lost in a sea of others, which is why, even though I'd say I'm a digital native, I prefer conversations translating into real time and to face to face. So I think this was a very concrete attempt at doing that. I'm expecting this session to be heard in Parliament. I'm expecting the order paper to come out, and I'm expecting a lot of the key points that are in the discussions and they're in the bills that are going to be passed with input from these dialogues. Because where do these dialogues end in the end? They have to end with concrete actions being done by the citizens themselves, and also the government must take the initiative. So I hope to see an order paper with a lot of our suggestions in.
You do mean the discussion in Parliament?
I do mean the discussion in Parliament, and also do mean that a lot of these points that we are bringing up should be brought up at the government level as well. And that's what we hope to see. That's what I hope to see.
I was sharing with my team that I don't have a Facebook, so actually I don't participate in this kind of online discussion. So I thought this would be a platform whereby I can contribute as a citizen to some ideas.
Yeah. So you do hope that certain views or opinions generated out of this session can be used for certain purposes?
Yes, I seriously hope that ministry or the government would look at some of the ideas that we were talking about. One of the suggestions I made is an internet kind of open forum, but with two distinctions. One is, of course, we need moderation, because in internet the loudest or the longest tend to dominate a discussion, so we need someone to actually moderate that forum. And secondly, we need identity. We need someone to not anonymous but declare your name, your IC, and not so much to as a policing you, but that when you are able to stand up and say, this is myself and this is what I want to say, then you are standing up to be counted. So I think that is important.
But I personally believe that if we were to have a truly inclusive conversation, we need Singaporeans from a more diverse background. And I don't only mean diverse in terms of like the jobs or the age, but diversity of opinions. That means we have seen in the online sphere, right? And not everything online is trash, Some people actually post constructive criticism online. So we need to call these people who have constructive criticism online to come and talk about why do you see Singapore progressing in this way. And then we have people who think, no, Singapore shouldn't progress in this way, right? So a real conversation will be between these two kinds of people who have such divergent views on how Singapore should be like. And maybe they can come to a common ground, or at least a common understanding of each other, going forward. That's something that's not being achieved now. Right now, we're only talking about nice, airy-fairy stuff like, we want Singapore to have no racism, for example. Of course, it would be great if Singapore has no racism, right? But are we prepared to come to a discussion on what actually perpetuates racism in Singapore? How are we all racist inside, for example? I don't see us actually talking about this kind. Definitely we are. I think I've spoken to friends, for example, even the issue of minimum wage, right? During the general elections last year, I had friends who really disagreed with me, and they told me that, no, why are you asking for minimum wage? It will actually bring about a negative impact on Singapore's economy. And I said, okay, let's sit down and have a debate about this. And at the end of the debate, we still disagree, but we can shake hands and say, okay, I don't agree with you, but I see where you're coming from. And I think, again, not everything online is trash. You have seen how people defend themselves online and how constructive conversations happen online. And this can be translated into real life, I think Singaporeans are ready. It's just, do we think, are we ready or not, to have this kind of conversations with people who disagree with us? On the level of the people, I think yes. On the level of this is nasty, but on the level of Secretariat, are they ready to open the doors to this kind of people also?